Yo, 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 welcome to the show. Welcome to the Social Sunshine Podcast. I'm your hostess, Brittany Crossan. Welcome back to another episode. Before I dive into this conversation about Instagram bonuses, I want to remind you, please leave a 5-star rating and review for the show on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, if that's where you're listening. That is so helpful. So incredibly helpful. You can do it right now. You can just tap back like a time or two on your phone and you'll see where you can like hit the little 5-star thing and just type in like one little sentence about what you appreciate about the Social Sunshine Podcast. I would really love if you would take the time to do that. And if you can rate and review on other platforms that you might be listening on, please do so there as well. I genuinely appreciate it because these things help not only the show be seen better in the podcast platform's algorithm, so we have better visibility, but also when people are looking at the show and they're interested and they look at the reviews, it'll help them understand why it would be a good decision to listen to the show and follow and subscribe and everything. So thank you so much for doing that. I genuinely appreciate it. Okay, let's dive into this conversation about how, Instagram bonuses that ain't going to pay your bills. All right. That's for sure. And I wanted to give you a specific example of like my recent scenario with their bonus program they have right now for Instagram Reels and what I've made and how many views I've gotten so that you can learn how difficult it would be to actually make a substantial amount of money on a regular basis on these programs. So if you're not familiar, Instagram and other platforms will offer up bonus programs and things, for creators so that way, essentially the better your videos do, the more money you might make off of them. And it's always a little confusing as to how much you will actually make. It's not a real black and white thing. It's not like they really tell you all the things inside. There's all this fine print. Anyway, it can be very confusing, basically, long story short. And so, but it's exciting in the sense that, there's a lot of people that really, really are great social media content creators. And we love the idea of getting paid for that directly from the platform because these platforms, they make their money from advertisements, right? Like if you do an ad, if you're not familiar, how you can do like a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad or an ad on any platform. That's income for that platform, which is great. It should be. I have no complaints there. But then because our content is what brings people to the platforms, it makes sense that maybe there'd be some sort of a system or reward or payment, right? Totally makes sense. Like YouTube has been doing this since, way back in the day. So that's what these programs are. But the first problem I want to mention is that they're not always available and they're not always available to everyone. So since right now we're focusing on Instagram Reels bonuses specifically, I can look back in my phone right now while we're talking about this and look at this. Where is it at? Here it is. By the way, I went into my menu, my settings, and went to creator tools and controls and then to bonuses. Okay, so past bonuses, like if I scroll down, because I've gotten quite a few of them over the past couple years or so. Let's see. My earliest one, Reels Play bonus, was back in the summer of 2022. So as I'm recording this is the summer of 24. So 2 years ago was when I first got this. It was early summer, late spring. And I made $105 in that 30-day time period. $105. Now, as appreciative as I was for the $105, unfortunately, it's not like that's going to be a big contributing factor into paying to support me and my family. Okay. But that I wanted to give a timeline. So that was back about 2 years ago in spring, summer of 2022. Okay. So my first thing, what I was just saying was like how there's not always a bonus available. So that's the first problem. So you can't rely on on, at least as of right now, these Instagram bonuses for like truly for a part of your living, because you don't ever know when they're going to have the offer of a bonus and when they're going to take it away. It's not, you know what I mean? Like it's not a guaranteed thing right now. So that makes it unreliable. That makes it just a perk, just a little perk. Okay. So we got to think about it that way, first of all. And I think that also when you get yourself away from thinking that you just need to make money from the platform for your views, essentially, when you get yourself away from thinking that way and you start thinking into other ways you can leverage the views that you're getting to help support you financially in other ways, that's when you're really on to something. Listen to this entire episode on any major podcast platform. Simply search the Social Sunshine Podcast.